So, thanks to college and some more resources, I've been able to see movies for the first time, or movies from several directors for the first time that I've never seen before. Like Stanley Kubrick, Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, David Lynch, Robert Altman, the list goes on. And as of the recording of this video, I have finally been able to see a movie from Paul Thomas Anderson. There Will Be Blood. Now, I didn't record a review immediately after seeing it like I usually do with some movies, because for this one I had to think a bit about it. Because let me say this. I love the opening scene where it's all show don't tell. That's a great use of that. Same thing with WALL-E in 2001. But when I was watching it, I got this feeling I just didn't get it. I didn't get why is this movie considered one of the all-time greatest of our time? At first, as the movie gradually, as the movie went, oh jeez, I'm so sorry. As the movie gradually went forward, I finally began to understand it. I began to think, okay, I get it now. I think I really understand why so many people rave this movie. Let's get into that. Let's talk about the acting. Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano are terrific in this movie. Our Danny is once again just showcasing how versatile and amazing of an actor he is. There are just certain scenes, just like in Gangs of New York and Lincoln, there are just many moments where he just dominates the scene. He's controlling it, and he just does a terrific job at it. I don't know if this is better or, I'm still kind of deciding which one I prefer more, There Will Be Blood or Gangs of New York, when it comes to Daniel Day-Lewis's acting. Because, he terrified me quite a bit in Gangs of New York. And there were some pretty intimidating moments with him. Paul Dano was another amazing aspect of this film. How he just goes completely bonkers and insanic and just crazy during his scenes. Whenever he was telling that old lady to try to get the devil out of her. And later on when Daniel Day-Lewis was having that amazing monologue where he just shouts that he abandoned his child and Dana was just slapping him. That was so great. As well as that one scene where Dano's character just walks up to him and Lewis just slaps him to the floor and just oh my gosh, it's just so great. Now that ending, the milkshake ending, where Daniel and Eli are in the bowling alley, and then now Daniel is challenging Eli, just like how he mentions how the Lord challenges us. And then he just goes after him, hits him with a bowling pin, and then he just crushes his fucking head. That is just one of the most well-directed, well-acted endings I've ever seen in any motion picture. I'm not even kidding. It's so on point. And it's definitely gonna stick with me for the rest of my time as a film guy. And I'm always gonna look back to this ending when I think of the greatest endings that I've ever seen. The score. Oh, one other thing, that little kid and the older guy who played the deaf kid, also just great. Especially during that scene where Daniel just tells him that he's an orphan and the bastard of a bastard. Yeah, that's another great scene where Daniel just controls the whole moment. The score is just so... Wow, I just enjoyed it. I was just... I don't know what to say about the score. I know it's like... It's not like original score, but like, man, it certainly does fit for the movie. Especially the music that plays during the end credits. I love that. The sound design is also just very top tier. With the sounds of the oil, that one scene where the oil erupts and we get to just switch between normal hearing and then these piercing ring. Top tier sound. Especially in like other scenes. Like with when Daniel just takes the bowling pin and just smashes Eli's head. Oh, man. The cinematography is also just so gorgeous. Like during the scene where Daniel just sits and just watches it, the drill thing, like on fire. And then the scene where he just yells that he abandoned his child. The opening scene, the ending. So much great cinematography. Cinematography throughout this whole film. It's also worth knowing that this film was also filmed alongside No Country for Old Men, which is another film that is a collaboration between Paramount Vantage and Miramax Films. Wow. I guess they have more in common. Amazing performances, set in a desert-esque landscape. Yeah. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words on what else to say about There Will Be Blood. There certainly was blood in there. And I something else that I also loved. I don't know much about it, but I love that Paul Thomas Anderson paid tribute to Robert Altman during the end credits. I guess, I could be wrong, but I guess Altman was like kind of an inspiration. Or was like someone Paul Thomas Anderson may have looked up to. I mean, it kind of makes sense on why he would dedicate it to Robert Altman. I don't know, it might just be rambling, but I think it's a very sweet tribute. Well, another film that'll just stick with me forever. It was just outstanding. I truly love this film. Way to go, PTA.